I felt it. It's my experience. I only saw it. So it's true and I believe it. Yes, anecdotal evidence. That's what we'll try and study today. Hello and welcome to yet another vlog by Pale Blue Thoughts. We thank you for your overwhelming response and support for our last series on horoscopes. We have received many comments through WhatsApp and through YouTube where you have really appreciated the content that we have presented. We are taking a break from our debunk series. However, we will continue to provide you with content that will be related to the topics that we have already presented and will be presenting in the future. In the last video, we saw how astrology is a pseudoscience. However, what makes people believe in them are because of their own experiences. Today, we will look at one such characteristics of all pseudosciences and one which is used to falsely claim that they work. We look at anecdotal evidences in this video.
Humans love stories. I love stories. Stories unite us. They entertain us and they guide us. Stories can be powerful. When something bad happens to us, it is natural to try to explain it with a story. And when we find that a story fits our experience, our first instinct is to embrace it, not question it. This is particularly true when the story comes from a trusted source like a friend, a relative, or even ourselves. Because yes, we all tell ourselves stories. But the very thing that makes a good story is also what makes it a bad evidence. Stories favor resolution. Anecdotal evidence is a story told by individuals. It comes in many forms that can range from product testimonials to word of mouth. It is often testimony or a short account about the truth or effectiveness of a claim. Typically, anecdotal evidence focuses on individual results and is mostly driven by emotion and presented by individuals who are not often the subject area experts. I'm sure you've heard that you can't trust anecdotal evidence. Yet, we still ask our friends for recommendations about restaurants, travel destinations, auto mechanics, and so on. The tricky thing about anecdotal evidence is that even when an individual story is true, it can still be entirely misleading. How does that work?
In this video, we will show you why you can't trust anecdotal evidence. Humans are more likely to tell and remember dramatic, extraordinary personal stories. Throw in some emotion and you are more likely to believe the story. In psychological terms, statistical analysis of data that are carefully collected from well-designed experiments lacks that emotional kick. Sad but true. Furthermore, if B follows A, our brains are wired to assume that A causes B. This is the difference between correlation and causation. We will look at that in another video. However, let's start with anecdotal evidence first. So if your friend tells you an emotional story about how he took a supplement and then lost a lot of weight, we'll remember his story and assume that the supplement caused the weight loss. Unfortunately, we don't hear from the other 10 people who took the supplement and didn't lose weight. We also don't know what else he might be doing to lose weight.
Anecdotal evidences are the most common and basic reason why people strongly believe in superstitions. When someone says that I believe in it since I have experienced the same, there is hardly anything you can counter it with. Let us see some examples for and against this. When someone states that my family's diseases got cured after I went to this faith healer, or after taking this homeopathic medicine, or after visiting this religious place, you can't disprove this. If someone says that I saw a god or ghost of my grandfather last night, again, no one can invalidate this. Personal experience are like that. they are very fragile. On the other end of the spectrum, our personal experience says that Earth feels flat. But is it actually? No. Sun seems like rising and setting. But does it actually? No. The sky looks blue. But is it? No. Earth's orbital speed around the sun averages at around 30 kilometers per second, which is around 107,000 kilometers per hour. Do we feel the same? No. Our experiences is that we are staying absolutely still, but we are actually swinging around the sun like an out of control roller coaster, only much, much, much faster than a roller coaster. So how can we believe the experiences of others when we can't trust our own feelings? There is a famous magic performance by Penn and Teller where an illusion is created in which a magician appears to catch a bullet fired directly at him, often in the mouth, sometimes in the hand, or sometimes caught with other items such as a dinner plate. Please watch this performance and let's come back after.
Wasn't it an amazing performance? Didn't you actually believe that they caught the bullet with their mouth? It is an experience seen directly with your eyes. But we all know that it's an illusion, and a pretty good one at that. All magic shows are basically cheating done to your brain, but by openly stating so. An openly admitted cheating is called magic, and cheating without permission is called faith. The miracle of the sun, also known as miracle of Fatima, is reported to have occurred on 13th October 1917, attended by a large crowd who had gathered in Fatima, Portugal, in response to a prophecy made by 3 shepherd children. The prophecy was that Virgin Mary would appear and perform miracles on that date. Newspapers published testimony from witnesses who said that they had seen extraordinary solar activity, such as the sun appearing to dance or zigzag in the sky, carrying towards the earth, or emit multicolored light and radiant colors. According to these reports, the event lasted approximately 10 minutes. There has been much analysis of the event from critical, sociological, and scientific perspectives. According to critics, the eyewitnesses' testimony was actually a collection of inconsistent and contradictory accounts. Proposed alternative explanations include witnesses being deceived by their senses due to prolonged staring at the sun and then seeing something unusual as expected. We obviously know that the sun did not fall down or dance towards the earth. But it was not 10, 100 or 1000, but around 70,000 people who had similar experience they felt. How many of you would you don't believe? These are anecdotes which cannot be taken as any form of evidence.
Finally, anecdotal evidence cherry picks the best stories. You don't hear about all of the unsuccessful cases because people are less likely to talk about them. Take the case of 2 stories. One of a girl who passed her school exams with flying colors, and the other where a girl ran off with someone in the neighborhood. Which one of these are you likely to hear about more? Of course, the one which has got a negative aspect to it, which is the story of the girl who ran away. You are more likely to hear stories about things that have worked. The instances where the same thing has not worked never gets shared. There was this guy who rose to fame in 2018 when he appeared on television claiming that he was a time traveler and that he had come from 2030. He claimed that his name was Noah, and he said that he has traveled back from 2030 and he predicted many events that he said would happen between 2018 and 2030, most of which has not happened so far. He also said nothing about the coronavirus of 2020, which clearly exposed the hoax today. However, in those days, newspapers and TV channels fought amongst themselves to publish interviews with him, which became a big hit on the internet. Those videos garnered a lot of views and was shared frantically on Facebook and WhatsApp. However, After a few months, he himself released a video where he admitted that he had faked it all up. How many people saw it? Hardly a few. Did the same media report it? No.
Anecdotal evidences can cause major issues when it comes to alternative medicines. They do not tell you how their medicines work. They simply will have cartloads of testimonials to share with you. Superstition and beliefs are thousands of years old, whereas science with its methods is only a few hundred years old. So that is why we have so many alternative medicine practitioners promising that A will cure B has only to advertise a handful of successful anecdotes in the form of testimonials. There's a reason why courts use physical evidence in as much as they can to resolve disputes. The story that each party tells is guaranteed to be contradicted by the other party, which is the whole reason they are in the court in the first place. Physical evidences help establish facts, and facts supersede anecdotes, which allow the judge to make a hopefully fair ruling.
A great example of this can be witnessed whenever a friend starts a new diet and claims to feel better, to which they of course credit the specifics of the diet, whether that means avoiding gluten or carbs or fat or whatever. Ignoring the placebo effect for the moment, the problem is that anytime someone starts a new diet, they make numerous changes to their diet. And most of the time, they're just plain healthy changes. For example, what do almost all diet plans have in common? None of them allow junk food, and all of them encourage greater vegetable consumption. Eating fewer chips and more vegetables is going to improve your health regardless of whatever else the diet specifies. But the dieters' rationale for why they feel better isn't that their diet has greatly improved, but rather that they have adhered strictly to the rules of the diet. In summary, anecdotes are unreliable because they favor positive, interesting resolutions, which we call as selection bias. The anecdotes that you hear are far more likely to confirm what you already believe than contradict it, which is a fallacy called as confirmation bias. And 3, you never have the whole story.
Making decisions based on anecdotal evidence might not always be harmful. For example, if you ask a friend for a restaurant recommendation, the risk is very low, especially if you know his or her taste. However, if you are making important decisions about things like finances, healthcare, and fitness, don't base them on anecdotal evidence. Look at scientific data and expert analysis, even though they are not as flashy as emotionally charged stories presented by relatable people. Acting on someone else's anecdotal experience is appropriate only if the harm seems small and the benefit worthwhile. Suppose that you suffer from chapped, itchy skin in winter, and a friend tells you about a new cream that has helped him. Should you try it? It sounds like you should. First, if it relieves the dryness and itch, you can be fairly sure that the cream is responsible if previous treatments have failed to make any difference. Second, because the treatment is likely to be short term, the risk of serious adverse effects are very low. Third, judging whether the cream is effective is very straightforward. So if the cream works, you will benefit, and if it doesn't, you stand to lose very little. However, when you use the same logic in more serious cases, such as in treatment of chronic diseases, then it can cause adverse reactions and can even lead to someone losing their life.
Why did we mention this here? Because all pseudosciences thrive on these anecdotal evidences. When we explain the principle behind each of the pseudosciences which we intend to debunk, you would have thousands of believers who would claim to have experiences of how it has worked for them. We want you to understand that these personal experiences are not to be taken as evidence. If you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. Also, if you would like us to make a video on a particular topic, please do mention it in the comment section, and we will do our best to bring it here for you. Until next time, it's bye-bye. from Pale Blue Thoughts.